All right, Carol Roth joins us, former investment banker, Warren Small Business author, Brian Brenberg, the King's College Business Economics professor, Fox News contributor, movie buffs, both of them. Brian, I'm wondering, this has me concerned, not only because now I can't bring goodies from home if they're not in the theater, but I'm also seeing people packing the theater regardless. And that has got to be a sign of something going on, that Americans are willing and able to endure the tragedy of no popcorn just to get out. So that's got to be a good reflection on something. What do you think?
I love seeing people go to the theater. I guess Maverick's a great movie. I haven't seen it myself. I want to see it. It's free of a lot of the anti-woke ambush stuff that you get, or woke ambush stuff that you get in a lot of movies these days. But the thing is, you go to a movie, you should expect to be able to get popcorn, right? I mean, that's kind of basic. You go to a ball game, you get a hot dog. You go to a movie, you get popcorn. If that's not happening, Neil, it's like a big check engine light on the economy. It's just saying this economy is not working. We cannot accelerate. Even when people want to go to the theater, even when they want to spend money, they're finding outages, they're finding shortages, they can't get things done. And when they see that, Neil, whether the administration likes it or not, people look to the top and they say, what's wrong with this? Why can't we do things that we could easily do just a couple years ago and we've been able to do throughout history? Popcorn at a theater should be easy. If it's not, there's something wrong, and people tend to look at the top.
It's interesting, too, Carol, when you think about it, the underlying willingness of the consumer to pack airplanes, to take their trips, to absorb these high prices, from ticket prices to, gasoline prices, explains the fact that, they're itching to get out and have some fun, even when it comes to a theater, even if it means watching Tom Cruise. So I'm wondering, and that's in all deference to the professor, but I'm wondering what that says, because many people harken back to the 1970s and the Jimmy Carter experience to say we're back there. I don't see that. I didn't see that underpinning then. We might get there, but I don't see it now. What do you think?
No, well, first of all, I'm all for sneaking water and chocolate into the movie theater, but very, very difficult to sneak the popcorn. I feel like people need to draw the line there. But in terms of it being like the Carter administration, it's very different because we're in a scenario where people were locked down by mandate for, a couple of years. And so they do have this desire. They've overspent on goods. They're kind of moving and transitioning, and they're moving to the services piece of the economy. And to Brian's point, they're willing to kind of put up with not so great service just to experience anything because it's been denied to them for so long. I think, Neil, the part that I'm very concerned about is that the powers that be are really counting on the consumer to save the economy. So they're counting on the consumer to put themselves in a worse financial position, to dip into their savings, to increase their debt in order to save the economy and bail out the bad decisions that were made on a monetary policy basis, on a fiscal policy, and an overall government policy basis.
I wonder, too, guys, and Brian, I'll pick your brain on this idea that consumers, while they might save the economy, they're not in the same mood they were, and that by the fall, and I don't know what the magic is of the fall, maybe after the summer and you start getting your bills in the fall, they'll freeze up. Do you buy that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think this summer people are just, they want to have fun. They want to go do something. They want to travel. They want to go to a park. They want to camp. They want to have experiences. Summertime is the time to do that. So they're dipping into their savings to make that happen because from a sanity standpoint, they need it, Neil. But when you get to the fall and that dies down, that consumer says, I'm out of money. Prices haven't moderated. Things are not looking good. By that time, we might officially be in a recession.
Interesting.
I think the fall is scary because those animal spirits we always talk about in the economy, I think that they kind of subdue big time. And the consumer says, you've tapped me for all I've got. I'm out. And then this economy is in trouble because Carol's right. The administration has leaned on the consumer sticking with their spending almost to the point of abuse, and consumers cannot take that all year long.
On Friday, we're going to the consumer price data, the retail inflation data, Carol, and most seem to think it's going to run a little bit north of an 8% annual clip. I notice in a lot of the data, when it comes out on inflation, you'll see the administration seize on the fact that inflationary numbers are not increasing as quickly or as much as they were. In other words, it's coming down. Now, I tried this when I was a kid in school and let my parents know that I was expecting all Fs. So if I got a couple of Ds and Cs, I looked like Mensa material. So I know that game. I know that expectations game. What about you?
Well, first of all, Neil, I saw you at the last Mensa meeting, so you don't have to downplay and be self-deprecating.
I was serving drinks. It was not. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that I've been talking about for a long time. At some point we run into a math issue where things are going to be down on a year-over-year basis just because the comps are so high. And I've been talking about for a long time the fact that the powers that be, this administration, all of their, quote-unquote useful idiots, are going to be doing victory laps. Look, it's coming down. But, in the long run, if we have a year at 6% or at 5% even, which is still a far ways away from where we are today, that's not a good thing for the consumer because that's on top of all of the increases that we already see. And so, on a nominal basis, the impact on GDP, I think, is going to be very, very significant. And it's something that we really do need to set the record straight on because there will be a lot of people touting that as a victory.
You guys are so good. We're all going to the movies. So, Carol, you can go ahead and bring the water. That seems useless to me, but go ahead, bring the water. Brian and I will bring the other goodies. A little prosciutto, pepperoni. It's a party.
I was thinking peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah.
You're fancy, Neil.
Well, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Guys, thank you all very, very much.